Hi everyone, and welcome to the Cozy Cushion. I'm Natasha, and I'm going to be your guide today and share 5 ways I became safe from myself. I just wanted to share with you some ideas that I've cultivated over time to help rid myself of some bad patterns and overall addictions to things in my life. There was a period in my life when I wasn't safe from myself, and that means different things to different people. So if you're not safe with yourself right now, I encourage you to just give me an opportunity and a quick listen here and just see if we can learn something together. I find these tips have really helped me fix my life in the areas that mattered most to me. So here we go. 5 ways I became safe from myself. So the first thing was that I had to acknowledge that thoughts became things. I had some really bad thoughts. I had some really bad ideas running through my head and my body all the time. So once I acknowledged that my own behavior and my own thoughts became things and actual events in my life, I thought, okay, well, if thoughts become things and I'm thinking bad things, that's why I'm experiencing all these bad things in my life, of why I can't make money and why I can't make ends meet and why I keep going back to habits I know are killing my mind, body, and spirit. So once I realized that, I started having better thoughts. Every day my goal became get up each morning, instead of thinking, I got to find my fix, I've got to make sure that I'm okay, I've got to go to my medicine box and make sure that I do my thing. I realized that was no longer serving me. That same medicine box that I had that helped me feel better about life when I was younger didn't apply, and actually became full of not so positive things that weren't serving me. So I had to take a really good look inside this medicine box and realize I needed to swap some stuff out. So I needed to take some of the things that were negative and put some positive things in. So that's what I'm trying to help you with today. So once I realized thoughts became things, I started to put new ideas into my life. Like, I can change things. I can change my habits. Nobody was telling me I couldn't. So I started that habit. Thoughts become things. If I'm having all these bad thoughts, I might as well interrupt it. And instead of having a bad thought, like I'm not good enough, I'm a bad mom, I've done a lot of crappy things, I put in one good thought, like I'm a good mom. And then I went and did a good thing. And I built on it. Very easy, very gentle. And it makes a big difference at the end of the day. So the second thing that I did when I wasn't safe from myself and when I wasn't treating myself very good is I created a tribe, because I realized everybody around me was stuck in the same shit. We were all trying to figure out life together. And a lot of us had a lot of trauma, a lot of stuff on our plate, and a lot of not knowing. We just didn't know any better. So I started to look at who I loved in my life, who I wanted in my life, and who I wanted to be overall. What kind of person did I want to be? So I created a tribe of people that I paid attention to, that had the things that I wanted to have in my life, and I watched them. They became my tribe. So within my family network, I started to gravitate who made me feel better instead of worse. I started watching content on TV that was better and more enriching for my mind. So anybody that knows me knows that I'm a Oprah fanatic. So I started watching Oprah Winfrey. because Oprah made me feel better about my life. So she became a tribe member, a very serious tribe member. Yes, she's a TV personality. Do I know her personally? No, but I admired her. I wanted to feel the love that Oprah felt for the world. And I seen myself in her in so many ways. So, I created a tribe. Same with my family members. We have so many family members, and, sometimes they're not great for us, and feeling better about ourselves. Sometimes they're enablers, sometimes they drag us down. Sometimes, they push us around. So anyway, you need a new tribe. So look around your life, no matter where you're at, whether you're sitting in your car and you have nothing, whether you're just listening to me on your phone, standing outside somewhere, wondering where you're going to go. Find one person in your life that you're like, you know what? I really admire them and I know they care about me. I'm going to talk to them about, kind of spending some more time with them. So when you do that, it really helps keep you safe because you surround yourself by people that have your best interest in mind, and all it takes is one person, and they don't have to be anybody you even know, so I did this numerous times over my life. Sometimes it was a client that I had worked with, when I was at Curves for Women. That person was always changing. That tribe was always changing as I changed my mind and knew I needed to become safe because I wasn't being safe with myself, which will lead to other stories. So stay with me here. We're going on to the third thing, which is developing positive, easy habits. If anybody watched my video yesterday, I talked about some of my habits. One of them was eating, and doing drugs and not drinking water. I never drank water, ever. Never drank water, never ate healthy foods other than raw foods every once in a while to have some almonds or an apple or some raisins. That was healthy eating for me back then. So when I had no good habits or very little good habits, I cursed like a sailor. I was really angry. Like this unsafe person was also very, very effing angry. So I decided that I would get some new habits. I love certain things like violence. I loved physical combat, especially when I was in the throes of my uncertainty and not being safe with myself and so on and so forth. So the habits that I created for myself was I started drinking water. And I realized too that being on welfare, being a welfare mom was actually making me very sick. It was making me weak. It was making me not interested in life. It was having a very negative impact on my thoughts becoming things because I thought I was dead broke. I thought I was no good. I didn't think I deserved a good job. So when I developed my habit of drinking water, I started having all these realizations of, okay, maybe everything's not working for me, So I started looking at that stuff. So I started drinking water and I started getting new jobs. I knew I was a clean freak. OCD, love to clean. So I started offering up cleaning services because my grandparents that helped raise me used to give me money for doing things, like vacuuming out the car, cleaning their breezeway was one of my favorite to do with my grampy. But I always realized, and they made me work for it. They made me realize when you work for you work for your life, you work to make yourself safe, you become secure. So I thought, okay, well, I'll offer up housekeeping. So some of my friends needed a housekeeper. And one of those friends that needed a housekeeper, which is also my hairdresser, one morning I got there to clean and she looked at me and she said, would you like to go to kickboxing? And I was like, yes! I love kickboxing because, I love it. I had gotten my very first job, which is another story altogether, at Curves for Women. So I was starting to feel better and better. I started drinking water, and out of the blue, she said, let's go to kickboxing. And I said, okay. Didn't even have clothes. She threw me some pants. Off we went. We went to kickboxing, and I fell in love with myself for the first time in my life. And it was fucking beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. At the most important time of my life, because actually at the same time this was all happening, I was destroying my relationship with somebody that loved me very much. I was still going through the pains of trauma of some of the events that have happened in my life, and I was really losing hope. That's why I was not being safe with myself, is because my hope was so low that I was becoming hopeless. So my new habits, I developed the habit of drinking water, was invited to kickboxing, fell in love with myself, like literally just like that. It made it impossible at stage 3 to go back to the medicine box and see it the same as I did that same morning. So then the fourth thing, actually just back on the third a little bit, the third gave me a physical expression of my emotion. So when I was in kickboxing, I got to kick the living fuck out of all the people that said you can't do this. I got to kick the living crap out of all the emotion and intense feelings that I had about the way I was as a mom and the way I beat myself up, the way I thought things were supposed to be, how I thought I was going to be taken care of. I got to beat the crap out of the way welfare made me feel. And you know, I also had small jobs. I had some income because it was important to me that I earned it. I didn't want welfare, which was hard to get off of, by the way. That's going to be another video later on, so stay tuned for that. Number 4, I chose one thing to accomplish. So after I started drinking water, I went to a kickboxing class. I thought, you know, I had a job, you know, at this point, so I, you know, was still on welfare. Because it took welfare and 3 jobs actually to raise 1 child. So that's a little bit of math for people that don't do welfare math. Yeah, 3 jobs plus your welfare to raise 1 child. So the 4th thing that I did was choose one thing to accomplish. So literally 10 days later, after I started choosing better thoughts, I decided that I was going to become a personal trainer. Because my grandmother, when I was a little girl, Nanny Greeno, had encyclopedias. And inside these encyclopedias, they had anatomy. And I loved crime. I love murder. I love anatomy. I love being an FBI agent. I love small details. I love getting in there and investigating absolutely anything. That's why I love ghosts. That's why I love spirit. That's why I love psychic ability. My intuition and my empath abilities can be really, you know, channeled. I thought, you know, become a personal trainer. I can train people to do this. So I just chose one thing. And I wanted to become a warrior to turn my pain into passion. So that was years ago. This is like, oh, my son was born in 92. So this is, oh my goodness, coming into the 2000s. So this just didn't happen overnight. But once I chose to do one thing, I got to choose again and again and again. So here we are. So we choose the 4th thing. So something to accomplish that you feel awesome about. So I thought, okay, well, I'm going to become a personal trainer. So I looked at that and it was way too much money. People were going to Toronto, the best of the best. It was just too much money. It was just too far out of reach for me. So I thought, okay, well, I'm going to talk to other people because, I went to my dojo, I became close with, the kickboxing community, and I thought, who can really kick my butt? Who can really get my anger out and going? And so I talked to some people in my new tribe and decided to become a kickboxing instructor. So I went ahead and I did that certification, and it felt so good that I earned the money to become a personal trainer. Yay! So after that, all this time, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, I'm becoming safer and safer. I'm not putting myself in danger. I'm not putting so many drugs into my system that I glow in the dark. I don't feel so sleepy and happy and sad and up and down and in and out anymore. I realize my depression, anxiety, and addiction is all being channeled in a positive direction. Like, it actually felt different. You know, it didn't subside. No, I still love to drink. I still did some really bad behaviors, but I became safer. So that's so important for anybody out there that, you know, is not safe right now. If you're not safe, the only person that can make you safe is you. And I'm going to guide you there. So keep coming back if it's good for you, if you like this. So I became a kickboxing instructor, eventually became a personal trainer. So that's fantastic. So the last thing that I did that completed this whole circle and made me completely safe for the rest of my life, I never became unsafe after I did step 1. 1 step. That's why they have 12-step programs, which also didn't work for me. So that 1 step did, though. Thoughts become things. You can change your thoughts. So the last thing I did was I surrendered. I surrendered my past self because I realized when I was kickboxing, this person that was at that heavy bag was vicious, was ruthless, was relentless, was so effing powerful. I was like, girl, who are you? I can remember the first time I surrendered to this. I was having a shower and I was in the shower thinking about positive thoughts. Thoughts become things. I was like, you know, that's so cool. I became a kickboxing instructor. I love fitness, which I argued about, actually. The first person that hired me at Curves for Women, which was my first real job. Well, it was my second real job. My first job didn't go so well, which I'll share that a different day. So the person that hired me at Curves, I applied a year prior to actually getting the job, and they didn't contact me. So I ruled it out. I was like, oh, they don't even care about me, you know. Well, you know, didn't work. So long story short, they didn't respond to my first resume. A year later, I put my resumes out again because I was still sick and tired of being sick and tired and not safe. I had to get safer in my life. I had to choose my tribe of what was going to make life safe for me. So I was just looking. So I had a job interview. I sent the resume again. I might have even walked it in to the Curves. I think I had to put myself in the environment. So that's also a good tip. So I took my resume in, and the person that owned Curves said to my manager that hired me, if she doesn't have 3 heads, hire her. We need her. So that was pretty much the criteria, you know. So my manager says to me, we really want you. And I'm like, no, I don't think fitness is for me. I think I'd rather be a server. I love Tim Hortons. So I think I'm going to serve coffee, and I'm going to apply there. Long story short, I go home, talk to my son, and my son's kind of like, Mom, that would be cool for you because, you know. So I surrendered to my tribe that I was seeking out to help me make choices in life. So I surrendered to the manager at Curves at the time, which is now a very beloved friend, by the way. She said, we need you. I wanted to be needed, you know, so I surrendered to other people, trust that other people wanted what was best for me if I wanted what was best for me. So when I surrendered that and believed that I could be a different me, it made all the difference in the world. And I found tribes, different tribes, you know, different ways to beat my drum, different ways to utilize my medicine box, which I affectionately called at the time my dope box. People that know me probably have seen this box numerous times because it's changed a lot over the years, let me tell you. Let me tell you, it's changed. People used to be able to hear me coming just by the pills in my purse. I actually identified, one of the people actually had joined my tribe in my mind was I used to watch Will and Grace. And Karen actually was a character that I just thought was so fantastic because there was so much of me in her. And so I started laughing. I started watching things that made me laugh. I started connecting to people that had my bad behaviors that made me unsafe. And I started appreciating them. I started trusting myself that I could change my own destiny. So I just want you to take your past self, because after you leave this video today, you're not going to be the same person. I want you to take your little baby self, that little person that had the trauma, that created bad habits because they weren't safe, because they needed to survive. And I want you to draw them right into yourself, because nobody's held you in complete unconditional love before. So just hold yourself for a second here in this energy that I'm providing to all of us right now in this sacred space at the Cozy Cushion. That you fucking hated, that you wanted to change, that you didn't want to be this way, you didn't want to do those things, that old you. And I want you to hold them close and tell them it's okay, you know? And I want you to thank them for all the lessons, every lesson, all of them. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for all those lessons, for all those trials and tribulations. And I want you to open your eyes. And I want you to allow them to step back a little. And I want you to look at them with compassion and love and say, girl, boy, buddy, amigo, darling, I've got you now. And I'm going to make you safe. But I'm also going to kiss you goodbye. I want you to draw that old you in very close. And I want you to draw their head down to you. I want you to kiss them gently on the forehead. I want you to commit to finding new life parents to nurture this new baby soul, this new baby self, this new you that needs to be safe. And I want you to kiss that you goodbye. Because the new you wants more. The new you wants to be your best you. And I'm here to coach you, cheer for you, and love you until you get there. So after you leave here today, I want you to take one step for you. And I want you to say thank you for yourself to tuning in to this whole video. It was 22 minutes. And I just want you to leave here today with a secret weapon that just makes life better. Continue being you, be safe, and you're loved by me. Have a great day.